What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. But before we get all into the topic for today, I would love for you to do a few things for me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button so you can share this with all your friends, your family, and whoever else you believe will like the topic for today. Hit the bell icon so that you get notifications for whenever I come out with new content on this channel. And when you are finished, leave me a comment below. That way I can get back to it later. For today's topic, I want to talk about a term that I have discussed many times on Instagram, but I really haven't introduced you all as my YouTube family to too much. I want to talk about what is a solution Sambo. And I really want to get deep into the psychology of a solution Sambo. What really made me want to talk about this topic is that this is something that I've commonly seen as somebody who is a pro-black media analyst. My main job has been to get on social media and talk about the negative anti-black depictions that I see in movies, television shows, and in media in general. So I'm always identifying not only what these images look like and analyzing them, but I'm also teaching my audience and my supporters how to do the same thing. And I'm doing this while also creating content that actually is positive for black people, because we all know that the media that we see today, we see a lot of tropes and agendas and negative things that are being done to black people and how we're being portrayed. So I'm doing my due diligence to reverse that narrative by showing what's bad about the media that we see today, while also showing how I plan to be the improvement and how I plan to create a better media for black people. With that context, what I sometimes get is this naysayer that I would call a solution Sambo. So a solution Sambo is somebody who goes around whining about how all this stuff that I'm talking about is good and all, and defining what anti-blackness looks like and racism and things like that. And then they'll turn around, they'll say something like, well, now that we know what the problem is, what is your solution? But we need to give that some context, and we really need to dive deep into this because this is very specific. Every time I go on social media, every now and again I get somebody who, you know, they're babbling, they're whining, they're like, we solutions yet, man, we solutions yet. I see you talk about racism, but I see no solutions. And it is the most annoying shit ever. And it's annoying because there's a whole psychology as to why this person chose to do that. Before we really get deep into what a solution Sambo is, we need to define two different things. There is a difference between a solution Sambo and a solutions-oriented individual. A solutions-oriented individual is somebody who identifies problems and seeks solutions as a result. So, for example, somebody who is solutions-oriented in the pro-black media realm, when you analyze media images, will point out what is anti-black. And then they will say one of two things. Either I'm going to create my own content for people to enjoy, or I'm going to support the people who are creating their own content that doesn't have the negative messages in it that I tend to see when I watch television or when I watch different movies. So that's a solutions-oriented individual. A solution Sambo comes to run interference whenever somebody is talking about anti-black racism in media or anti-blackness in general. So you can be a solution Sambo even when I'm just talking about how we can just create empowerment in other spaces, even if it's politically or lawfully or that type of thing. The problem with the solution Sambo is that they give you the facade that they're actually looking for a solution, when in reality, that's far from the case. As a matter of fact, most of the time when people are going around whining about how somebody is not finding solutions, they're doing this to be able to cause chaos. So essentially they're an agent of chaos. What I mean by this is there's a difference between looking at a problem and saying I'm going to create a solution, and watching other people identify problems and badgering them about how they're not when you don't even know. That's the difference. Somebody who's solutions oriented would understand that identifying anti-blackness is a solution, first of all, because you are playing the role of somebody who is a reporter. You are reporting on the climate of something. So with me being a pro-black media analyst, I'm reporting on the climate of anti-blackness and its evolution and the way that it shows up in the stuff that we consume that's televised. The problem with a solution Sambo is they are not there to try to create solutions. They're just trying to create chaos. They're trying to get into the mix and trying to mess up the message for the person who's trying to talk about the different things that they see in media. Because essentially what a solution Sambo is doing by whining is they're making it seem like there is no need for a reporter. And we all know that we need reporters. We need reporters who are going to be unbiased and tell the facts. But we need, regardless, nonetheless, a reporter. And so Solution Sambo is acting like that actually is not a solution when it is. So that's the first problem. The second problem is a lot of the people who actually are Solution Sambos are just straight up Sambos. They're usually trying to deflect from a bigger issue. So what they tend to do is they create red herrings, because if I'm talking about how this show that I just watched is racist, by you saying, well, what about the solutions though? What about the solutions? That is a red herring. Because if I'm talking about racism, the subject should be about the racism that I saw and how I identified it, not how am I going to create a solution from it. Because the reality is you don't know whether or not I am or am not. You just got mad because I talked about this. Because the root is that they're mad that you're talking about racism because they feel that you're rocking the boat. That's the reason why they try to get up into your mix. So you get a lot of these Sambos and these coons who get up in here and they make these red herrings because they really don't want to discuss the topic of racism. They want to kiss white ass, and they want the white supremacists to know that they are on their side and that they will capitulate to anything that is brought their way. So they are really tap dancers. And the reality is that there's a lot of them that are out there. Some of you who are watching this are Solution Sambos your damn selves. I mean, let's be real here. My feeling, no, not my feeling. My other analysis is that the Solution Sambo's main goal is to cause chaos. But the reality is that when you tend to check a Solution Sambo, they don't even know what solution they're seeking because they don't know what the problem is to begin with. They're just upset that you're talking about the idea of racism or anti-black racism. So they don't even know what the problem is to even be seeking a solution. So that's another problem that I noticed as well too. They also are very inactive individuals. So they sit around and they whine about how, you're not finding a solution. But a real solutions-oriented person is already trying to seek a solution for themselves. They're not going onto other people's platforms and networks and things like that and bitching about how everybody is not finding a solution, because they understand the purpose and the complexity that is needed to be able to debunk anti-black racism. It starts with giving people the right information, but it ends with creating something that's different, that changes the narrative and the way that things look. But it's all a systematic process. You can't just do a bunch of things and think that you're just going to, make movement when you're not teaching people how to think in this manner as well too. That's why education is so important. Because a lot of people get out here and they're like, oh yeah, well, if the black community, if they just hustled their way out of this, then we wouldn't even have no problems. No, because you'd have a bunch of hustlers who are just coons who don't really care about black unity. That's part of the problem. The matter of fact, that's the main problem, is that the black unity is lost. So there's no desire to have a camaraderie with other black people. It's just a desire to be a success for yourself. So that's why that's an issue. Now I really need to get to the root though. The true root of why a Solution Sambo is a Sambo. The reality is that the Solution Sambo is a Sambo because of the fact that they do what they do because they want attention. They are the biggest attention whores that have ever existed. That is the main thing that they are looking for. They want other people to see them somehow making light of and dragging these people who are talking about anti-blackness so that they can be seen as a respectable individual who keeps it real. That's the reason why they do what they do. They want to be able to draw attention to themselves because it's all about them. So that's why I said that a problem with the solution Sambo, which is why they're a Sambo, is that they don't have a desire for a community aspect. They do not want to create like-minded connections, and they do not want to have a nexus of people who are pro-black. That is what solution Samboism is all about. They want to be able to have attention for themselves. They want all eyes on them. Attention whoreism is a big problem. It's a problem for everybody, but it is especially problematic when I see that in a man. Social media has created this realm where a lot of grown-ass men are seeking attention just because. So the way you get attention, and really it's attention from the dominant society, but the way you, and other coons, but the way that you get attention is by trying to mess up the mix of people who are justice oriented. Do you know how much of a low-life bitch you have to be so worried and concerned about what somebody who was talking about pro-blackness is doing that you literally are getting attention from being a tap dancer? How dishonorable is that shit? How, like, that is the weakest shit that I've ever seen. My feeling to anybody who's a solution Sambo is, if you are really truly a solutions oriented individual like you are trying to portray yourself to be, then you will use your platform to try to create solutions. And you would be so focused on that, you wouldn't have time to bitch at people who are talking about pro-blackness or how anti-blackness shows up, or educating people on how to observe these images. Matter of fact, you would be cheering them on, sharing their work, sharing their content, but you wouldn't be hoeing around because of the fact that nobody gave you attention as a goddamn child. And the reality is that you only want that attention because you want it to bring you other opportunities for you. Because somebody who wants the black community to succeed would also want somebody who is pro-black in the black community to also succeed. And that means educating the people and also supporting that process. But no, you get these naysayer niggas who go around and deviating to solutions whenever you get to talk about racism because they're afraid that white mommy and white daddy are going to be angry with them when they already don't like their black asses. But anyway, another thing I wanted to say real quick too is with this whole attention whoreism thing. A lot of these so-called people that talk about keeping it real do that quite a bit. And they love to do it around other people. And social media gives you a platform to be able to say a bunch of silly Negro shit around a bunch of other people who may also be coons or just may be unaware, and you're confusing them and you're throwing chaos into the mix. They want a big audience, so they keep it real because ultimately they want attention. They want to be respected. They want to be honored. They want somebody to be able to see them and look at them with authority. Oh man, he spits some real shit. That's what you all want. That's what you all want. Y'all want the spotlight like a bitch. But the point I'm trying to make though is when you see a solution Sambo, call them out because they are somebody who has no intention of actually creating solutions. They only have the intention of trying to throw off your mix. Anyway, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Other than that, I will talk to you later. I'm sure I'll have other topics. Peace.